Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Peppa Pig theory video. Before I begin, I would like to thank Holdzilla Plays and Mandy Nino for subscribing. If you would like to be featured in my next video, please subscribe and leave a comment about it. Now, let's begin. A common theme in theories both about the real world and shows is population control. This is due to Malthusian and Neo-Malthusian theory, which states that as the human population increases exponentially, we will run out of resources like food, water, and space, and there will be mass famine and war as a result. Therefore, human population should be kept low. This theory was popularized especially in the 70s, and since then has not come to fruition, as the human population has now reached 8 billion and people are living longer and are fatter than ever. However, it's still a popular idea, and many believe forms of population control will be used in the future. This is also a common theme in dystopia. I believe it may be happening in Peppa Pig society. As already established, Peppa Pig lives far into the future under the regime of an oppressive, totalitarian, dystopian government. As covered in my The Hidden Victims of Peppa Pig video, all families have 2 children, with the exceptions being rabbit and zebra. Although recently the panda twins have been shown, being the first example that I can remember of a family with 2 children where both of them are the same gender, as opposed to family which is girl-boy. For some reason, I had this impression that most families in Peppa Pig are 4 people, mom, dad, boy, girl. However, under a closer examination, the pigs are actually somewhat of an outlier in this regard, and most families actually only have 1 child. For example, the dogs, Candy Cat, Pedro Pony, all of those are just families with 1 child. The exceptions to this being, as I mentioned, rabbits, zebra, pig, and panda. I believe it may be a certain privilege to be allowed to have 2 children. Other families are only allowed to have 1, with the exception of the rabbits and zebra, which I will get to later. But the pigs and pandas have 2 children. Now, for a moment, the fact that the panda twins were allowed, to exist, to have 2 children, threw me off at first, but it makes sense given this theory, and actually adds more validity to it. So most families are only allowed to have 1 child due to a belief by the ruling powers that the human population ought to be kept low through people having less children, be that through contraception or what have you. But the pigs have 2. It's not only this generation of pigs that happen to have 2 children, but as we can see in the family episode, they also have an aunt and uncle. First of all, since they have an uncle who is Daddy Pig's brother, that means that Daddy Pig's parents also had 2 children. And their auntie and uncle have 2 children, Chloe and Alexander, which shows that it is common for pigs to have 2 children. Now, most of these people in the society have probably been indoctrinated to accept only being allowed to have 1 child. However, this isn't preferable to those people. They would probably rather have, but they would rather have 2 children unless the indoctrination was so successful they have been brainwashed. But the pigs, holding a special position in society, are allowed to have 2 children. Now, in an authoritarian police state, obviously the police would have a level of power that the common citizen does not. While the police in Peppa Pig are not portrayed very well, not malicious necessarily, but overall stupid, they may still have certain privileges that regular citizens do not. That may be why the pandas are allowed to have 2 children, as the father of the panda twins is a police officer, one of the 2 main police officers, him and police officer Squirrel. We don't know her marital status or whether she has any children, but when she does, I suspect she also will be allowed to have 2 children, unless she is a lower ranking police officer and does not have that privilege. I think this theory has a high chance of being valid and is one of the more likely out of the theories I have proposed. If you thought this was interesting and enjoyed it and would like to see more like this, please like and subscribe and comment about it if you would like to also be featured in my next video. Other than that, I will see you next time. Goodbye.